प्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। सर्वोपप्लवरहितः प्रज्ञानघनः प्रत्यगर्थो ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि। ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि ओम्। वेदान्तार्थविभासकाय गुरवे शान्ताय सन्न्यासिने नानावादीनगेन्द्र संघपवये योगीन्द्रवन्द्याय च मोहध्वान्तदिवाकराय भगवत्पादाभिधां बिभ्रते तस्मै भाष्यकृते नमोऽस्तु सततं पूर्णाय बोधात्मने ओम्। ब्रह्माहं यत्प्रसादेन मयि विश्वं प्रकल्पितं श्रीमत्स्वयं प्रकाशाख्यं प्रणौमि जगतां गुरुं। यः परमात्मा जगत्सृष्ट्वा प्रविवेश पुनः स्वयं तं कृष्णं प्रत्यगात्मानं वन्दे गोपी मनोहरम्। यस्य प्रसादादहमद्वयात्मा विश्वं समस्तं मयि कल्पितं च तं सर्वलोकैकगुरुं सदाश्री स्वयं प्रकाशं गुरुमानतोऽस्मि। गुरुणां चरणाम्भोजं प्रणिपत्य निरन्तरं तत्कृपालेशतोऽद्वैत चिन्ताकौस्तुभमारभे ओम्। Where the words avidya and maya are used as synonyms, which means there is no difference between maya and avidya. In this prakriya, how is the Jiva and Ishvara Bheda then made logically acceptable is the question. So it goes on page number 48 in the physical copy. Yatva yatha eka eva devadattaha kriya nimittavashena pathakaha pachakaha iti vyapadishyate. Devadatta is the same person, but sometimes Devadatta is called as a cook and sometimes he may be called as a reader, pathakaha. There was this, the Pathak people were the people who would recite the Vedas because they have memorized it. So this fellow, in sometimes he can be called as a cook because that, he could even be taking contracts to cook the food on, occasions. But he was also a Pathaka. So the same person is called as Pathaka and Pachaka. Iti vyapadishyate. Why? Kriya nimitta vashena. when he is doing the recital of the Vedas, he is called as a Pathaka. And when he is cooking the food, he is called as Pachaka. Iti Vyapadishyate. So the Kriya, the difference in the Kriya makes as if it is two different people, Pathaka and Pachaka. Tatha cha ekameva ashyanam. So now over here, Devadatta is the drishtanta, the example provided of Devadatta is applicable where? To Ajnanam. So Ajnanam is one. Like Devadatta is the same person, Ajnanam is also just one. Vikshepa avarana shakti nimitta bhedena maya vidya cha vipadishyate. Now this Ajnanam, because of the Vikshepa Shakti and Avarana Shakti, will be called as Maya and Avidya. Tathacha. So also now what happens? Avidya pratibimbitam chaitanyam jivaha, avidya upahitam chaitanyam ishvaraha. So now over here in this Eka Jivavada, over here, avidya pratibimbitam chaitanyam jivaha. What is called as jiva? Consciousness, reflection of the consciousness in the avidya is called as jiva. And avidyopahitam chaitanyam ishvaraha. Consciousness with the conditioning of avidya is called as Ishvara. Now, mark those differences because these are different prakriyas in which an explanation is provided to understand how Jiva, Atma is Brahman. Okay, that is what we have to see. But these are the various different ways of understanding. So we are looking at this Eka Jivavada, in which what is there? Avidya pratibimbitam chaitanyam jivaha. So naturally there is a question, then how do we explain the experience of many jivas? So we are experiencing many individuals. How is that explained? So they say, we have said avidya pratibimbitam chaitanyam jivaha. And this avidya can have several pramatas, several antakaranas. Meaning, just as in the dream, the dreamer is one, yet there are many individuals and each one of them is independently thinking. Is not it? In the dream, the dreamer is one, but there are many individuals. Some of them are friends, some of them are enemies, some of them are unconcerned. So each one of them are independently thinking. How does that happen? Because each one has his own mind. But does that make the dreamer many? No, the dreamer is just the one. So avidya pratibimbitam chaitanyam jivaha. In this avidya, the antakarnas can be many. And because the antakarnas are many, you can see many jivas also. So different pramatas are there. So, avidyopahitam chaitanyam ishvaraha. Over here, what is called as Ishvara? Avidyopahitam, with the conditioning of avidya, that Ishvara, consciousness is called as Ishvaraha. Okay? Now, furthermore, we are going to skip a lot of the intermediary discussions. आभासे एवच अत एवच उपमा सूर्यादिवत् यथा हि अयं ज्योतिरात्मा विवस्वानपो भिन्ना बहुधा एको अनुगच्छन् उपाधिना क्रियते भेदरूपो देवक्षेत्रेषु एवं अशोऽयम् आत्मा. This is the pramanam that he has provided. There. You can also take this as an example. The ocean is one. The water is one. And the reflection of Surya or Chandra, of the sun in the ocean, because ocean is one, is also one. But with the ocean has several waves, and every wave will carry the reflection of the sun. Thus, there appears many suns, reflected suns in one ocean. So, though Ajnanam is one, there are the Pratibimba over here in the Antakarana is also can be many, and thus we can provide an explanation. Asmin Pakshe, on page number 91 now, in the page number 57 in the physical copy, 91 in the PDF. Asmin Pakshe Jivastu Ekaha Eka Tasmin Antakarana Vishishta Pramataraha Kalpitaha. That's just what I explained, said. Asmin Pakshe, in this particular explanation, or this particular way of understanding Paksha, in this side, what is there? Jivastu Eka Eva. Jiva is also one, like the dreamer is one. Dreamer is one. Who is this Jiva who is one? Reflection of the consciousness. And that consciousness is Ishvara. Okay. Now, Asmin Pakshe Jivastu Eka Eva Tasmin Antakarana Vishishtaha Pramataraha Kalpitaha. And then various pramatas, the knowers, experiencers, individuals are imagined, are an appearances. Kechittu nana jnanam. So now this particular Eka Jivavada, he just gives you an idea over here, and he goes to the next topic. Kechittu has some other acharyas, nana ajnanam svikritya. They accept ajnanam to be many. Svikritya. Vanavat ajnana samudayaha samashtihi tadupahitam chaitanyam ishvaraha. Vrikshavat pratyekam ajnanam vyashtihi tadupahitam chaitanyam prajnaha iti vadanti. Now he gives you the second definition of Jiva and Ishvara. What was the first one that we have seen? Avidya pratibimbitam chaitanyam jivaha, avidyopahitam chaitanyam Ishvaraha. In Eka Jivavada. Now, in this Eka Jivavada. Now, in Nana Jnanam. Nana Jivavad. Both of these are prakriyas of Advaita Vedanta only. Kechittu Nana Jnanam Svikritya. Some of them having accepted that many ignorances are there. Because it is seen you have your ignorance, he has his ignorance, she has her ignorance, and the one whose ignorance gets destroyed becomes liberated. Just because he gets liberated, not that I'm getting liberated or he is getting liberated. You have been liberated. So now, by this experience, we will have to accept what? That there are many ignorances. Thus, kechittu nana jnanam svikritya. And in many Eka Jivavada, how is this explained? By saying the pramata over there, whether he gets bandha or moksha, it does not to the dreamer, to that one, it makes no difference. Okay. Kechittu nana ajnanam svikritya vanavad ajnana samudayaha samashtihi. So when it is accepted there are many ignorances, then what happens? Over there, the samudaya of all this, the totality of all the ignorances, samashtihi. Samudaya means samashtihi. Samashti. That samashti is there. Now, what is the samashti? What is the totality of? Totality of all the ignorances. Tadupahitam chaitanyam. Now, consciousness with the conditioning of samashti ajnanam is called as Ishvaraha. And vrikshavat, and what is the example over there? like the forest. What is a forest? Totality of all the trees. That is the forest, vana. And when you are going to say vana, that vana is one, English one. Forest is one. But there are many trees constituting that forest. So, vrikshavat, like the individual trees, pratyekam ajnanam, every ignorance is vyashti, individually. So, vyashti, consciousness with the conditioning of individuality of the ignorance, individual ignorance is called as prajna. Prajna is jiva. Another name for jiva is prajna. Okay, vrikshavat pratyekam ajnanam vyashtihi. This is how, through Nana Jivavada, we get this explanation or the definition of jiva and Ishvara. What is the definition here?
Swamiji,
Samashtya jnanopahitam chaitanyam Ishvaraha. Samashtya jnanopahitam chaitanyam Ishvaraha. And Vyashtya jnanopahitam chaitanyam Jivaha. That is what we have found. Then Ajnana bhedena jiva bhedo avashyam abhyupagantavyaha sarvashastra pramanyat. Now he goes into giving you, making that aneka jiva, nana jiva vada also stronger through pramana. So there is nothing wrong in accepting eka jiva vada or nana jiva vada. There is the siddhanta is Atma, is Brahman, and that is what is to be understood. Furthermore, Anyetu Karanibhuta Jnanopahitam Chaitanyam Ishvaraha. Now, the third definition, and all of these are very much sound, and that is how they are sound and perfectly fortified has been given in detail in the commentary. Now, a third definition is given, Anyetu. There are other acharyas who thus define it. That's why I said that this book is of a good use, because, you find all these definitions put together in one place. You see? Otherwise, to go through every acharya's work and, their voluminous work, and then to come to this definition of Jiva, Ishvara, and then another, it can become a very tedious job. And this particular teacher, Mahadeva Ananda, has brought all these definitions together for us, and also given at least some explanation how every definition is upapannam. Okay, now, Anyetu, there are yet another, there is yet some other acharya who says, Karani Bhuta Ajnanopahitam Chaitanyam. When they say Ajnanopahitam Chaitanyam Ishvaraha, what is that? What is that? That is Karani Bhuta Ajnanam. That Ajnanam, which is the causal ignorance. Consciousness with the conditioning of causal ignorance is called as Ishvara. Now over here the discussion is not how Ishvara is very, very compassionate and he will bless you and you should do this by Ishvara's bhakti, etc. That is a part of the upasana, which also has been covered in the commentary, what is the meaning of upasana, etc. But we are going to run through these lines over here. Karani bhuta ajnanopahitam chaitanyam Ishvaraha. What is Ishvara? Consciousness with the conditioning of causal ignorance is called as Ishvara. When the ignorance itself, when is the cause, obviously it has an effect. The effect is also not different from the cause. It is the cause in a different form. Correct? Cause in a different form. But what is that? Antakaranam. What is born from this? Karanibhuta jnanam, antakaranam. We understand all these words now. Antakaranam, the inner instrument. So now consciousness with the conditioning of antakaranam is called as jivaha. Karanibhuta jnanopaitam chaitanyam ishvaraha. Antakaranopaitam chaitanyam jivaha. And to this we have the Shruti, which says Karyopadhirayam jivaha karanopadhiri ishvaraha. But in all these, what do we understand? Sarvathapi mayopahitam chaitanyam ishvaraha. Finally, what do we understand? Mayopahitam chaitanyam ishvaraha. And why are we at this point? Because when we were defining the tatpada or tatpadartha, not tatpada, when we were defining tatpadartha, the definition of tatpadartha was distilled to be mayopahitam chaitanyam ishvaraha. And this is how mayopahitam chaitanyam ishvaraha, through all the definitions, is what we come to the conclusion. Such a jnana shakti upahita swarupena jagatkarta vikshepadi shaktimad ajnana upahita swarupena jagat upadanam urnanabhivat. So now that Ishvara is how abhinna nimittopadana karanam is non-differentiated or simultaneously the material cause and the what is the other one? Efficient cause is the abhinna nimittopadana karanam. How does he become abhinna nimittopadana karanam? Here it is. Jnana shakti upahita swarupena. The form in which consciousness is with the conditioning of jnana shakti. What is jnana shakti? What is jnana shakti?
Swamiji, rajastamobhyam anabhibhuta sattvam.
Rajastamobhyam anabhibhutam sattvam is jnana shakti. So, conditioned by this jnana shakti, Shuddha Sattva is Jagatkarta. Okay? Then Vikshepadi Shaktimat Ajnanopahita Swarupena. Now, when that consciousness is with the Vikshepa Shakti, Avarana Shakti is not there in Ishvara. Okay? So, Avarana Shakti is not there. That's why there is that kind of Ajnanam, that Ishvara also does not know Atma is Brahman, he is Brahman. Not such thing does not happen. In Ishvara, this knowledge that Aham Brahma remains shining. Vikshepadi Shaktimat Ajnanopahita Swarupena Jagat Upadanam. Why Vikshepa? Because this Vikshepa Shakti is that from which Akashadi Prapancha is born, and therefore Urnanabhivat, like the Urnanabhi. Who is called as Urnanabhi? The spider. What is this Urnanabhi? It is spider. This spider becomes the efficient cause as well as the material cause for the web, for its fiber, okay, that it produces, like that. Yathornanabhi srajate grihnate cha ityadi shrutehe yas sarvajnyaha savishvakrit sahi sarvasya kartam ityadi shrutibhyascha. So all the shrutis Ekamukhena, unanimously proclaim Ishvara is Abhinna Nimittopadana Karanam, and this is the Ishvara of Vedanta. Ishvara, everybody uses the word Ishvara. God, that word God is used by everyone. And then what is the meaning of their God? Oh no, he's the one who is making this universe and making you suffer, and he is watching and waiting for you to die one day so that he can bring you back to heaven and all. No. That's why what is the definition of Ishvara over here? Abhinna nimittopadana karanam. This is how it is, which means mayopahita chaitanyam. This is the vyavastha. Okay. Now over here, in the commentary part is also really very good. Maya nishtham niratishaya sattvam trimurtyakarena parinamate parameshwarichaya lokanugrahaya. Now this Maya nishtham niratishayam sattvam, that sattva guna, which is uncontaminated by raja and tama, because of which ajnanam is now called as Maya, what happens? It undergoes a transformation, parinamate. And what is the parinama? Trimurti akarena, in three murtis, by Ishvara's own will, and lokanugrahaya, in order to bless this world. Tatra danda kamandalu manmurti upahitassan parameshwaro jagat srashta brahma bhavati. Now the one, that murti with danda kamandalu etc. Parameshwara only, jagat srashta brahma bhavati. Shankha chakra gadambujapani murti upahitahasan parameshwaro jagat gopta vishnur bhavati. How wielding this Shankha Chakra Gada Padma, he becomes Vishnu, the protector of the world. And then Trinetra Shula Pani Murti Upahitassan Parameshwaro Jagat Samharta Maheshwaro Bhavati. Now with the three eyes, with the Trishula, etc., wielding Trishula, etc., that Ishvara alone now becomes the cause of dissolution. Jagat Samharta Maheshwaraha is Maheshwara. Sa Brahmassa Shiva Sendra Sokshara Paramaswarat Sa Eva Vishnu Ityadi Shrutehe. So the Shruti also, Shruti shows that it is one Ishvara alone who is now manifesting as Brahma Vishnu Murti, Brahma Vishnu Mahesha Murti, all this. So there is no competition between Mahesha and what do they call Vishnu and all these things. Ye sab murkhata hai. Evam purvoktad ishvarad akashaha utpadyate. Now, with whatever our understanding of Ishvara through different lines of explanation, through the Pratibhimbavada, through an Eka Jivavada, through Nana Jivavada, we have come to understand that Mayopahita Chaitanyam is called as Ishvara. So, so from this Ishvara, Evam Purvoktad Ishvara, Akasha Utpadyate. Tasmadvai Tasmad Akasha Atmanaha Akasha Sambhuta. So like that, Akasha Utpadyate. Now Akasha means just don't consider this physical space. Okay? This physical space which we see is the grossified form of the space. Though this is the subtlemost in all the elements of this gross world, yet the subtle space is still different. So Akashad Vayuhu, from this Akasha Vayu, which is also subtle, Vayor Agnihi. Now this is the subtle world. Vayor Agnihi Agnerapaha Adhyak Prithvi Cha Tasma, and this Taitriya Shruti is there. Ityadi Shruteha. So what is that? Mayayaha sattva rajastamo gunatmakatvat tat karyani akashadini api sattva rajastamo gunatmakani apanchikritani sukshma bhutani cha varnayanti. Because this Maya is also Trigunatmika, though the Sattva Guna remains unaffected, yet there is presence of Rajoguna and Tamoguna. So we should know that Shuddha Sattva does not mean there is no Rajoguna and Tamoguna. This is not the case. Rajoguna and Tamoguna is there, but they remain under the control of Sattva Guna. So Mayayaha Sattva Rajas Tamo Gunatmakatvad. So this Maya from which Akasha and right up to Prithvi, all these 5 Mahabhutas are born. All of them are also Trigunatmaka. Sattva Rajas Tamo Gunatmakani. But how are they? Sukshma Bhutani. And they are Apanchikritani. Sukshma means they are yet not grossified. What do you mean by grossification? The word grossification does not mean as if they have got condensed, crystallized. It means panchikritam, where the 5 Mahabhutas get mixed into each other, and that is what is called as Sthula Jagat. As long as they have not got mixed up, it will remain apanchikrita, sukshma mahabhutas. But when they do get mixed with each other, who? Not sattva tamo gunas, who? The pancha mahabhutas. When they get mixed up with each other, now we have the grossified world, this world which is there in front of us. Iti further. We are just going to run through this now, because in the commentary a lot has been said yet. Etebhyaha sukshma bhutebhyaha sthula bhutani sukshma sharirani cha saptadashalingatmakani jayante. Then what happens? From these Panchamahabhutas, how are these Panchamahabhutas now? Not grossified. And not grossified means they are subtle. So from the subtle Mahabhutas, what comes into existence? Sthula Bhutas, the grossified Panchamahabhutas. Sukshma Shariram, even the subtle body. And this subtle body is constituting of 17 elements. Now, elements in the sense, ingredients. And therefore, all of them become Saptadashalingatmakani. Each one is this is the Linga Sharira. Saptadasha. Saptadashalingani tu. What are these 17 lingas? 5 Jnanendriyas, 5 Karmendriyas, 5 Pancha Prana, and Mana and Buddhi. This is the 17 elements. And this is called as Linga Sharira. Why is it called as Linga Sharira? Because Linga means an indication. Lingyate anena iti lingaha. It is an indication. This is the first indication of your own presence, of the self. It becomes. What is the first indication? This vritti, aham asmi, I am. I am. This becomes the linga, and that's why this is called as the Linga Sharira. Linga Shariram. Okay. There is a lot of discussion. Tathacha akashadi satvikam shebhyo vyastebhyo jnanendriyani utpadyante. Now this the explanation goes as from the sattva guna amsha. Now there is this akasha. From Maya, now the akasha has come. Maya means from this mayopahita chaitanyam, Ishvara, akasha is born. Though this akasha is born and it is subtle, yet it has got these three gunas, sattva, raja and tama. Why does this akasha will also have sattva, raja and tama guna? Why?
Because Maya is also having
Trigunatmika.
sattva.
The cause, remember, if the string is going to be red in color, naturally the cloth which will be produced will be manufactured will be red in color. So if Maya is also Trigunatmika, Maya Karyam, Jagat will also be Trigunatmakam. So what? That's why now Akasha, which has come into existence from Maya, is also Trigunatmakam. So now, from the Sattva Guna, this phalanges of the three phalanges of your finger, okay? इसको क्या कहते हैं हिंदी में? Two phalanges. Yeah?
कड़ियां समझी कड़ियां
No.
I know a word in Marathi for this. It is called as pair. Botachi pera.
Pair.
Huh? Anand is there? You understand, right? Phalanges.
Pair.
Aradhana will have a word. Aradhana, what do we call this phalanges in Hindi?
something I don't I don't know, Swamiji. Flanges.
Huh?
Flanges.
हाँ,
Oh,
phalanges.
let me.
ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं, चलो आगे. So just as there are these three in every finger, then sattva, raja, and tama. So let us consider this finger as akasha, and it will have these three divisions. From the sattva guna, the jnanendriyas are born. From the rajoguna, the karmendriyas are born. And then what remains is the tamoguna. We are going to see what happens to the tamoguna of every element. Because this is the tamoguna which will go into making of this gross world, the world which we are experiencing, the world of men and women and animals and insects, everything of these planets and galaxies is what? Just this tamoguna amsha of this sattva-guna, of the Maya, okay, of the Panchamahabhutas. But how that happens, we will see. Okay. Akasha Satvikamshat. Now this is, let us consider this as Akasha. And even my thumb also, you can imagine, has got three phalanges. So from the Sattva Guna of the Akasha, what comes? Shrotrendriya. Why Shrotrendriya? Why Shrotrendriya?
शब्द होता है
शब्द स्वामी जी
Shabda.
शब्द
And why are you saying that Satvika Amsha is from it, the Indriya will be born? This Shrotrendriya will be born. ठीक है, आकाश का गुण शब्द है, लेकिन why are you saying that this Akasha, the Satvika Amsha of the Akasha, becomes the Shrotrendriya? Because Sattva Guna is knowledge, is not it? What is the Shrotrendriya doing? It is illumining the Shabda. Now, so now the Shabda which we are receiving is actually the Tamo Gunamsha. But the Indriya is of sattva guna. Okay, the word, the sound that you are hearing. So just understand this. This akasha, which is sattva, shabda guna. So the shabda itself has bifurcated in one place as the object and the illuminator of this object. Got it? Akasha satvikamshat shrotram utpadyate. Vayoho satvikamshat, from vayu, tvagendriya. Tvagindriyam. Tejas satvikamshat chakshuho. So chakshu is not, the eyeballs. Remember this. Indriyas are the part of the subtle body. Indriyas are not the part of the gross body. ये गोलक है, इन मांस के गोलों को हम चक्षुर इंद्रिय नहीं कहते हैं. ये तो केवल उस चक्षुर इंद्रियों को आकर के कार्य करने की जगह है. This is just the office from where the Shrotrendriya functions. But what is Shrotrendriya? It is a subtle faculty that illumines colors and forms. So Shrotrendriyam. Shrotrendriyam comes from which element? Chakshurindriya comes from which element?
Agni.
Agni.
Tejasa. Tejasaha satvikamsha chakshuhu. Apam satvikamsha rasanam. Now, though it appears that, the gustatory faculty which we think is tongue, but in tongue is also a faculty through which we produce shabda. Look at that. The vayu which rises then hits various vocal cords and places from where the sound is produced, and this tongue plays a very important role in creating the sound. For example, it is said Talavyasha, Murdhanyasha, and Dantyasa. All of them are just the same sound, hiss. Correct? But when the tongue directs this vayu onto the palate on top, palate means just behind the teeth in the jaw. Okay, on that palate, it becomes sha, which is of Shankara, sha. When this tongue will direct the vayu to the cerebral part, topmost, like the roof of the jaw, it becomes sha. Are you able to mark the difference in the sounds or not? You can try it. Sure. And when the tongue directs that air, which has now risen to become some sort of a hiss, and directs it onto the teeth, it will become sa. स होगा. और ये सकार जो है वो शकार नहीं है, शकार नहीं है. इसलिए बोली भाषा में तो हम शंकर भगवान वगैरह बोल देते हैं, परंतु इफ यू फॉलो our शिक्षा शास्त्रम, Paniniya Shiksha, etc., and that's why the pronunciations have to be correct. Because even if it is a hiss, that sakara, if depending upon where this tongue is going to direct, the sound will be different. Is going to be different. Generally, people think pa and fa is same. No. Just watch yourself. How is the sound pa created? Like karma phalam. Pa is a labial sound. Aushtya. pa, pha, ba, bha. In all, the lips will play a role in creating. So pa, pha, ba, bha. So pa. But when you are saying fa, it is dantyaushtya. The teeth and the lips, fa. Like the sound of English father, father. Over there, it is not father, it will be father. But that father will be a sound produced by the teeth and the lips together. And this particular sound of fa is called by our Shiksha Shastram in the Vyakaranam also as Upadmaniyam. Is Upadmaniyam. But fa is Aushtya from those sounds of Aushtya Varga. And Rajiv is there. Rajiv is there.
I saw.
They will know.
He's unable to unmute.
क्या है? हाँ, अच्छा, इसकी आवाज नहीं आ रही है. Well, what I wanted to say, why did we begin and drift into this, is because the tongue, it appears, is simultaneously the Jnanendriyam as well as Karmendriya. So now it is not simultaneously Jnanendriya and Karmendriya. Jnanendriya is still different, Karmendriya is different, but both of them, the Jnanendriya is Rasanendriya and Vak is the Karmendriya. Both of them have a common office to function from. They have a common place to function from, which is the tongue. But Jnanendriya is different, Karmendriya is different. What is the Jnanendriya? Rasanendriya. And this, because of the virtue that it is a Jnanendriya, it is born from the Satvika Amsha of Apam Satvika Amsha, from the Satvika Amsha of water.
Water.
This is the word that we can use in English. Apam Satvika Amshad Rasanam. Prithvi Satvika Amshad Granam. Granam means?
Smell.
Olfactory faculty. Granam. Shrotramakha. Shrotramakasha ityadi shrutehe. The shruti is also there to support it. Now, Akashadinam Satvikamshebhyo Militebhyo Antakaranam Utpadyate. This Satvikamsha of all the elements, consider there is one more, fifth one. So, from the Satvikamsha, all the Satvikamsha of the 5 elements coming together, this totality becomes Antakaranam. Now becomes Antakaranam. Individually, they are Indriyas, and together it is still a Karanam, but that Karanam is Antakaranam. It is Karanam means it is still an instrument. Even Indriya is also an instrument, but it is a specific instrument. Okay, it is a specific instrument. So, Akashadinam Satvikamshebhyo Militebhyo Antakaranam Utpadyate. भाग रहे हैं इसमें क्योंकि पूरा तो करना ही है, जस्ट हाँ. ततः तत्संकल्प विकल्प निश्चयाभिमानानुसंधान रूप वृत्ति भेदा चतुर्विधम. Now even this antakaranam is chaturvidham. Some of them say Panchavidam and all that, but it's okay. We are satisfied by calling it fourfold. Antakaranam is fourfold. What makes this Antakaranam fourfold? What makes it fourfold is that it is the functions the cognitive functions. 4 cognitive functions: Sankalpa, Vikalpa, Nishchaya, Abhimana, Anusandhana. Okay, what are the 4 functions? Sankalpa, Vikalpa, Nishchaya, Abhimana, and Anusandhana. And by that, because of the first function of Sankalpa Vikalpa, it is called as Mana. Because of the cognitive function of Nishchaya, certainty, it is called as Buddhi. Because of Abhimana, cognition of Abhimana, it is called as Ahankara. And because of the cognition of Anusandhana, memory means that you are able to hold that connection. So because of that Anusandhana, because of that connection, it is called as Chitta. So Mano Buddhi Ahankara Chittancha iti Chaturvidham Sankalpakhyam Manorupam Buddhi Nishchaya Rupini Abhimanatmakas Tadvad Ahankara Prakirtitaha Anusandhana Rupancha Chittam Mityabhidhiyate. This is a shloka only. Iti Vartika Vachanat, and this is Sureshwaracharya Bhagavan's Vachanam. Purvokta Akashadi Rajasam Shebhyo Vyastebhyaha Karmendriyani Utpadyante. Now, as we have told you, now let us turn our attention to the Rajoguna Amsha of all the 5 elements. From the Rajoguna Amsha, Amsha means part. From the Rajoguna Amsha of all the 5 elements, Karmendriyas are born. How are they? Akasha Rajonshad. What will be the function of Rajoguna Amsha of Akasha? Remember, Akasha is Shabdagunatmak. Vagindriyam. What is it? Vagindriyam utpadyate. Then Vayu is sparshatmaka. The guna of Vayu is sparsha. Now can you just tell what should be the appropriate karmendriya?
Prana.
Hands,
Skin.
hands.
Sparsha, tvacha.
We touch by hands with hands. So
Hands. Tvacha.
Twagindriya is what?
Jnanendriya
or कर्मेंद्रिय?
ज्ञानेंद्रिय.
ज्ञानेंद्रिय. हम बोल रहे हैं कर्मेंद्रिय कौन सा होगा?
त्वचा.
अरे त्वचा जो है वो तो ज्ञानेंद्रिय बनी.
मुझे हाथ से टच कर
hands. And that's why
स्वामी जी त्वचा सूक्ष्म अंश नहीं है ना?
त्वचा मतलब don't understand this skin,
okay.
dermis and epidermis. इसमें रहने वाला जो एक इंद्रिय है वह. जी ठीक. हमेशा ही सूक्ष्म होगा.
हरिओम.
हाँ जी.
पानी, हाथ.
पानी. राजसा वायोः राजसांशात् हस्तौ, तेजसो राजसांशात् पादौ, अपाम राजसांशात् पायुः. Payu means the indriya of
Excretion.
ification. And then this is one, and sometimes it is also said that apam rajasamshat, it is the jananendriya. Okay, both are there. And prithvi rajasamshat upasthaha. Over here he says that upastha is from the prithvi's rajasamsha. But there is this, both of there you find. Some teachers agree on saying that from the water, it is the jananendriya. And from the prithvi's rajasamsha, it is the payuhu. Akashadi rajasamshebhyo militebhya pranaha utpadyate. Therefore, prana is also what?
Karmendriya.
Subtle, it is subtle. केवल इस वायु को, जो अंदर भरने वाली वायु, बाहर आने वाली वायु को हम नहीं बोलते हैं, क्योंकि ये वायु तो ग्रॉसिफाइड है ना?
जी स्वामी जी।
Yes, Swami.
सूक्ष्म शरीर।
हाँ, और प्राण जो है वो सूक्ष्म शरीर का अंश है। तो भले ही इस वायु में वो प्राण रहे, परंतु प्राण अपने से एक सूक्ष्म वस्तु है, और वो क्या है कि इन पंच महाभूतों के राजस अंश का मिलित रूप है। ठीक है, आकाशादि राजसंशेभ्यो मिलितेभ्यः प्राणः उत्पद्यते सोपि वृत्ति भेदात् पंचविधः. Because of its 5 functions, this prana is also a 5-fold. Okay, just as antakaranam, because of its 4-fold functions, becomes chaturvidha, this vayu, the vayu in the sense, this prana, because of its 5-fold functions, becomes panchavidha, is 5-fold. Okay, so now up to this point we have seen how Mayopadhika Chaitanyam is Ishvara. From this Ishvara, now this Prapancha has come into existence. And in this Prapancha, there is subtle elements. These subtle elements have their Sattva, Raja and Tamamsha. From the Sattva Amsha, Jnanendriyas are born. From the Raja Amsha, the Karmendriyas are born. From the totality of the Sattva Amsha of 5 elements, Antakaranam is born. And now this Antakaranam, etc., is not of one individual or many individuals. That individuals will come later on. But it is totality of all this. Okay? Totality of all this. So इसीलिए that Chakshurindriya which you have is a part of the total Chakshurindriya. The Shrotrendriya which you have is the part of the total Shrotrendriya. Just as the Vayu which you have in your lungs is the part of the total Vayu, like that, this is a part of that whole. Individuality is only a kalpana. Is only a kalpana. We will see that, more of it, as we follow the text to summarize it. All right, we halt for the day over here. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanta Shanta Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyoma Vadvyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha. Thank you all. Thank you very much.
धन्यवाद स्वामी जी, आज बहुत ही आनंद आया ये सब सुन के। ये
Thank
मेरा
you,
मैं
स्वामी
बाद
जी।
में ज्वाइन किया था, पर आज बहुत अच्छा लगा ये सब।